So Saquon Barkley did not get signed to a long-term deal. Josh Jacobs did not get signed to a long-term deal. Tony Pollard did not get signed to a long-term deal. All three of these players have two things in common. Actually, maybe even three things in common. They're young, they play the running back position, and they all are going to be playing this season on the franchise tag. So, this is unbelievable that these guys could not get signed. Tony Pollard, I understand a little bit because he is coming off the injury. So maybe Dallas is hesitant to give him a long-term deal. Plus, he has yet to be the 100% bell cow running back for the Cowboys. While Zeke, he definitely dropped off in performance literally every single year since he came into the league. He hasn't been that main guy. But Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley have. And both were fairly close to getting deals done. Josh Jacobs was waiting at the Raiders facility parking lot. So then if the deal got done, he could go in and sign the deal before the 4 o'clock deadline. Saquon, they were close too. They were a couple $1 million away. I think it was like literally $1 or $2 million a year. Now, mind you, that is such a small percentage of the salary cap. It's like a $232 million salary cap this year, if I'm right. $232 million. And they weren't willing to give Saquon another $1 million or $2 million. And this man is your offense. You gave Daniel Jones $40 million a year for 4 years. And Saquon can't get, 12, 13 mil? Like, really? Why? When you paid, you way overpaid Daniel Jones. Daniel needs to be in that $25 million a year ballpark. Like, you overpay Daniel by at least $10 to $15 million. Like, Daniel probably could have been signed for half of what you offered. Or, guess what? Transition tag him. No one is giving up 2 first-round picks for Daniel Jones. And congratulations, now he's playing for $32 million on a 1-year tag. Go ahead, prove it again. Maybe Brian Daboll's the quarterback guru. Maybe he fixed you. Go prove it again this year. Like, damn. But Saquon can't get, 13 a year? When he is your offense. He is your offense. Without Saquon, you are not a playoff team. And Raiders, Josh Jacobs, you traded away Darren Waller. Granted, he was hurt a lot, whatever. But you need a running game for Jimmy G. That is how he does well. You need a running game. And if you're that close, if you are literally this close, that he is in the parking lot, waiting to go in and sign, just do it. Again, if it's $1 million or $2 million out of the $232 million, because even if it's, let's say it's easy math, right? If it's $200 million salary cap, and we're talking about $2 million, that is 1% of the salary cap. 1%. So now at $232 million, even if it's $2.3 million, that's 1% of the salary cap. So now if you're $1 million off, you're less than 0.5% of the salary cap away. Just do the deal. Because now what's going to happen is the franchise tag is going to hit your salary cap everything this year. It's going to be all 10 million whatever. Whereas if you sign him to the long-term deal, the salary cap hit might only be $5 million, $6 million, $7 million this year. I don't understand what NFL teams are doing. And, like, you see the outrage by other NFL running backs, by McCaffrey, by Derrick Henry, by Najee Harris. Like, people are pissed. Like, look at Austin Eckler. The Chargers didn't want to pay him. Look at Dalvin Cook. He got released by the Vikings. And actually, here's the crazy, crazy thing this year. The average salary for an NFL running back this year is, I believe, $1.86 million. The average NFL salary for a kicker this year is $2.3 million. Kickers, on average, are getting paid more than running backs. This is a problem. And honestly, they need to make changes with the franchise tag. They do. Now, I was listening to stuff. Apparently, the original purpose of the franchise tag was to keep the quarterback from leaving. Okay, fine. If the quarterback has a fantastic year, you want to make sure they're not a one-hit wonder, franchise tag them. Yeah, the NFL needs to change the franchise tag to either A, make it so it's only quarterbacks, or B, just get rid of it. Get rid of it. Your season ends at longest the middle to early February. Probably more like early February. Free agency is early March. You have a month minimum to talk with a player for a contract. Plus, you had all the months during the season and even before the season started. Because hey, this player is on the last year of their deal. If we want to extend them, we need to do that. Or you let them play out the deal if you can't come to an agreement. And then after the season, you try to extend them. But now, NFL teams are just using the franchise tag. Here's what's going to happen. You play 4 years in the NFL. If you're a first-round pick and you're doing well, that's your fifth-year option. That's 5 years in the NFL. So we're going to use Saquon's situation. 5 years in the NFL. He can get tagged twice. This man's going to be 7 years in the league. He'll be in his late 20s, which at this point, when you're in your late 20s, guess what? You're now outside of your prime as a running back, and you're on the wrong end of your career, and now you don't get a big payday. You don't get one. You're going to get tagged twice, which granted, that's going to be $22 million, which that's a lot of money. But, why? Or Josh Jacobs. Second round pick, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tag. I got now 6 years. You're now still in your late 20s. Tagging the person twice has given NFL teams kind of a way out of paying a player long term. And it's ridiculous. It really is. I think the franchise tag needs to go. Don't hold a player hostage. And guess what? If you think that the price they are asking for, so say Saquon was asking for $25 million a year. Or, he says, I'm a better player than Daniel. I am more of this offense than Daniel. I want $45 million a year. Okay? Well, then the Giants are going to say, go to the open market. Try to get that deal. Now, granted, the NFL and the NFL teams have been accused lately of collusion, of, kind of like a, hint, hint, wink, wink, that kind of silent, hey, this player's ridiculous, don't offer them any money. Just to try to keep players down a bit. Because, if Saquon goes and there's a bidding war and it's, hey, I wanted 45 and I got 50. And, and then all of a sudden now the running back market's, $50 million. Which, obviously, this is a major, major exaggeration. But that's, if Saquon wanted 15 and then all of a sudden a bidding war goes on and he ends up with 18 a year. And either the Giants retain him or another team gets him. So, I mean, it's crazy. It really is. I think that it needs to go. And then the market can dictate what a player gets. If you can't re-sign him in the minimum month after the season, plus everything before, whether you, let's say you don't make the playoffs. Okay, you don't make the playoffs, it's now with, another week in the season, we're pretty much early January. That is 2 months to talk and try to come up with a deal. 2 months. Then you get everything before that, like I mentioned before. To me, there is no reason why you shouldn't be able to get a deal done if you truly want to keep that player. Unless one of you is being crazy. Whether the team is being crazy low, like say if the Giants were like, we'll offer you $2 million a year. Or the player is being really crazy, and again, we'll use Saquon, and if he's asking for 30, it's Saquon's worth way more than 2, and he's worth way less than 30. He is worth somewhere in between. And it's up to the team and the player and or his agent to get that settled out. So, I mean, I just don't get it. I don't. Because running backs are essential to the game. They are. They run, they catch, they block. They do 3 things that some people on the team only do 1. Wide receivers will mainly only catch unless you're Deebo Samuel or you're doing like an end around. The offensive line will only block unless you're like the eligible receiver on a trick play. And they run, which, like I said, unless you're Deebo, you're not doing it as a receiver. Like the tight ends, they will block and they will catch, but they're not running. Unless, I think Kyle Juszczyk, he counts as a fullback. He's not a tight end. But it's insane. Running backs do so much, and they are so undervalued because they still get beat up. And by the time you hit 30, you're done. Like, that's it. Which is why the Saquon situation sucks, that he's going to get paid his rookie deal, a 5th-year option, 2 franchise tags. So, I mean, I don't know how much he's made in his career so far, but let's say altogether, after 2 franchise tags, he walks away $35-40 million. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but this is estimating. So say he walks away $35-40 million after 7 years in the NFL. Like, hello? He should have made a lot more money than that. But unless you either change the rules so that way you can protect running backs, or you change it so the franchise tag isn't as effective, or effective at all against running backs. Like, you have, and eventually, guess what? Kids are going to see this. They're not going to want to be a running back. They will be a wide receiver. They'll go play defense. They'll do anything but play running back. And before you know it, you'll be struggling to find them. So fix this issue before a bigger issue becomes a very, very big problem. Alright, so if you guys did enjoy this video, do me a favor, leave a like, and talk to me about this in the comments. What do you think the NFL should do about the running back situation that we're seeing right now? And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn notifications on. I'll see everyone in the next video. Thanks for watching.